Very good morning to all. Today we are going to talk about again James Thompson's poem The Winter. As I told you that this poem is a part of the world famous collection of poems by James Thompson, that is the seasons, which talks about all the four seasons. So winter is a part of that poem. And the individual poems that are there, whether it is the winter, summer, autumn, spring. All these poems are really very long poems, and only a small part of the winter poem is prescribed in your syllabus. I told you in the beginning as well. Well, let me remind you that we have gone through two stanzas of this poem, and in these stanzas, the writer has projected an image of the winter evening. He says that during the winter season, everything on the earth appears as if it is frozen. The cool winds blow during the daytime, during the nighttime, and everything becomes chill. Even the river water that used to flow continuously, that is also frozen. And ice is formed on the surface of that water, so it cannot move now. And even if the winds blow, the growling sound of the river is heard. There are no human beings or the creatures moving outside as they do during the normal seasons. And when the wind blows, the growling sound of the river water resounds continuously. And during the night time, sometimes it happens that a certain thief is there who is going, and the village dog tries to stop that thief. So at certain times you can also listen to the voice of the heifers who are lowing, and the hollow sound that is created in the plains, in the plain area, that is also heard amidst the extreme cold winds. And during the night, the sky is very much clear, and the stars are seen shining in the sky. The full moon shines brightly. So we can perceive all these paraphernalia during the day and the night time when the winter season is there. So let us come to the next part of the poem. From pole to pole, the rigid influence falls. Through the still night, incessant, heavy, strong, and sieges nature fast. It freezes on till morn, late rising over the drooping world, lifts her pale eye unjoyous. Then appears the various labor of the silent night, prone from the dripping cave and dumb cascade, whose idle torrents only seems to roar the pendant icicle, the frost work fair, where transient huge and fancied figures rise, wide spouted over the hill, the frozen brook, a livid tract, cold gleaming on the moon. The forest bent beneath the plumy wave, and by the frost refined the whiter snow, encrusted hard and sounding to the tread of early shepherd, as he pensive seeks his pining flock, or from the mountain top, pleased with the slippery surface swift descents. So let us start with the poem. From pole to pole. From pole to pole here refers to everywhere, whatever you can perceive. The rigid influence falls. The rigid influence, rigid means very hard, harsh influence. The impact of the natural forces that can be seen from one corner of the world to the another. During the winter season, this is the scenario always, everywhere we can say, all around. Through the still night, incessant, heavy, strong, and siege nature fast. Through the still night is very much calm and cool. No movement as such is there outside. That's why it is considered as the still night. Still means where no movement as such is there, where no sound as such is there. That is the still night. Incessant means continuously. This is the process during the winter season, that nights are very calm and cool. They are very much silent, we can say. Heavy, strong, and siege nature fast. And throughout the night, the heavy winds, which are very much strong, which are continuous, incessant, they keep on sieging, capturing the entire nature. The entire nature is engulfed in the chill winds of the winter season. It freezes on. It keeps on freezing everything. It keeps off cooling everything till morn. Morn here refers to morning. Till the night is ended and the morning falls. Till that time, the continuous process of the chilling winds continues till the morning. Late rising over the drooping world. Late rising of what? During the morning season, during the morning time, what happens? The sun rises. But if we talk about the winter season, the sun also becomes very late. It rises late rising. That's why. So the sun rising is also taking place in the late hours over the drooping world. And when the sun rises, what happens? The people who used to rise up, who used to wake up in the early hours, they are still languishing. They are still not working, because during the winter season, if we talk about ourselves, we also, we are also not working continuously during the daytime. We feel like we have to sleep for some more hours because it is the chill night we have spent. During the daytime also it's extreme cold. That's why we don't want to come out of our mattresses, we can say. So till morn, late rising over the drooping world. The entire world, which is lazy, which is languishing, which is still in the bed. And the late rising of the sun is also taking place at the time. Lifts her pale eye unjoyous. Her here refers to morning. So lifts her pale eye. What is considered to be the pale eye of the morning? It is the sun. Because during the winter season, the sun rising is taking place, no doubt, but it is not so much bright as it used to be in the summer season or the spring season. So it is considered to be the pale eye of the winter season, of the morning. So lifts her pale eye unjoyous. It is unjoyous. Why? Because no freshness is there in the morning during the winter season. We don't feel any happiness during the daytime as well as we used to do in the other seasons. Lifts her pale eye unjoyous. The sun rises, but it is not making any fresh attribute to it. Then appears the various labor of the silent night. Then appears the various labor of the silent night. The night which was very much calm, cool and silent. When the morning arrives, it looks around the work that has been done during the night time. During the night time, what kind of labor is done is thrown from the dripping cave. The water that used to drip down from the cave, that is now doing what? It is now turned into the icy form. It is frozen. So the various labor of the silent night thrown from the dripping cave. Prone means which appears. It is proved, we can say. It is seen from the dripping cave. Dripping means the water that is continuously falling in the drops that is turned into the ice. And dump, cascade. Dump means it is not making any sound, so the water that used to create a sound of falling, that is also quiet. Why it is quiet? Because it is frozen. Cascade, the different falls that used to be there, the waterfalls, they are also frozen. Huge idle torrents only seems to roar. Idle torrents used to roar means the water which used to make great sound. Roar means to make great sound. So the flow of the water that used to make or create great roaring sound, that is also stopped. It is made dumb. No sound is being made. Why? Because the water is frozen. The pendant icicle. Pendant icicle means a pendant like shape is formed by the dripping water, which is frozen halfway in its drop to the ground. The water that used to continuously flow towards the earth, that is now frozen. It has formed a shape of the pendant. The frostwork fair. So it is also frozen. The frost, it is the work of the frost. During the night time, you see that frost is there everywhere, right? So water drops are there everywhere. They are also frozen. When transient, huge, and fancied figures ride through that water, which is frozen, you can see different colors, because whenever the sun rays fall onto the water that is in the frozen condition, different kinds of colors, huge means colors, they are reflected. And fancied figures, right? And different kind of figures are also made in that, are also appearing onto that ice. So let me paraphrase these lines. Here the writer says, from pole to pole the stars appear shining. The influence of the stars and the moon falls on everything on the earth. It attacks everything in nature. The frost at night seems to have seized everything in nature. Everything is freezing. The process continues till the morning. The morning appears to come late because the sun rising is taking place in the late hours during the winter season. In the cold morning, nothing appears fresh and joyous because people are languishing still in their beds. Morning, morning is personified here. Morning is presented as if it is the human being. So when morning comes, it watches all the works that have been done during the night that was very much still, calm. What it has done to the landscape, it is perceived by the morning. The water dripping down the cave is now frozen. The small waterfall cascade that used to flow continuously, that is also frozen. It has widened in the process of freezing. The brook flowing from the hill is also frozen. The frozen brook appears to have become a dull blue stretch of land. It appears that it is full of anger at a present state of imprisonment. So, let us come to the next part of this poem. White spouted over the hill the frozen brook. The brook that used to be there on the hillside, that is also frozen. White spouted. It has formed a wide stretch of land, a livid tract. A tract is formed, a path is formed by it. It is appearing as if the water that used to flow by the side of the brook, that is turned into a pathway. It is no more the water. It is in the form of the ice now. So it has formed a tract for the passers-by. Cold gleaming on the moon. Cold gleaming on the moon. Moon means again the morning. It refers to. So during the morning time as well, the cold winds are blowing. The forest bent beneath the plumy wave. Plumy, which is very much in the form of the feather, we can say. The forest bent beneath the plumy wave. The waves which have been made as if they are having feathers, they are making the forest as well very much chill. And by the frost refined the whiter snow. The snow that has been made much more whiter, that is refined by the frost that is falling during the night time. Encrusted hard. Encrusted, which is having the hard coating, we can say. And sounding to the tread of early shepherd. Early shepherd, during the early hours of the morning, the shepherd is passing away from that side. And when he is moving, it is making a sound because the surface has been made harder due to the impact of the chill winds. It has been turned into the ice form. So when you walk on the ice, it creates great sounds. As he pensive seeks. He is also not joyful. The shepherd is also not joyful. He is pensive. Pensive means he is thinking about something which is melancholious. He is also not happy. As he pensive seeks his pining flock, he is searching for his flocks. Flocks, the cattles, we can say. He is pining. Pining means which have been, deceased. So they are also not happy. The flocks are also not happy. The flock of sheep, they are having certain kinds of diseases during this season. Or from the mountain top, pleased with the slippery surface, swift descents. Slippery, which is if you walk onto that particular site of the ice, you get slipped. So pleased with the slippery surface, swift descends. Swift depends means he slips from that part which used to be very hard to cross. He is happy that he has not to walk on that part. He will come down very easily. Descends means come down. So let me paraphrase it for you. Here he has projected the image of the brook that used to fall, that used to flow from the hill, that is also frozen. The frozen brook appears to have become a dull blue stretch of land. Blue, why? Because the water is having the blue color, a bluish color, we can say. The image of the sky is reflected into that, that's why it is blue. So the frozen brook appears to have become a dull blue stretch of land. It appears that it is full of anger at a present state of imprisonment. Why it is imprisoned? Because the entire water of the brook that has been frozen, it has been imprisoned by the chill winds of the winter season. The snow has become so hard coated that the shepherd's morning feet make a sound when it goes over the path. When the shepherd is walking onto that path that he used to travel in the mornings, in the early mornings, that is now creating the sound of his feet. The shepherd is silent and he is thinking of his sheep which are having certain kinds of diseases. He is searching for them. The mountains that used to be smooth, they have now become slippery because they are covered with snow. The shepherd to some extent is happy with this slippery thing. Why? Because it helps the shepherd to come down very easily from the mountains. he can make his movement fast in search of his shepherd. That's why he is very much glad, he is very much happy. So this is all about this poem, and the certain other parts of this poem, whether it's just the literary devices that are used in this poem and the other aspects that are related to this poem, the personification and the natural sensuous imagery that is used by the writer. So I will send a PDF for the same for you, and I hope you have understood this poem. Even after that, if you have some problem, you can approach me via email or WhatsApp. Thank you all.